This is music, and this is the first impressions video of 2023. Welcome to the first impressions video of 2023. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many CDs and sometimes also vinyl and cassettes that I've blind bought over the years. In this video, I have this stack of CDs to talk about, so let's just get down to business. Up first, some progressive metal, Sun-Caged, and their album Artemisia, I think is what it's called. It's out on Lion Music, so that's already a quality stamp. This is progressive metal. On the more Dream Theater side of things, not as self-indulgent as a lot of other Dream Theater inspired progressive metal bands are. But yeah, this has what you would expect from a progressive metal album: ebbs and flows, dynamic song structures, high level of musicianship. The songs are actually not too long. I think the average length is 7.5 minutes. I know that sounds like a long song from a mainstream pop perspective, but from the perspective of progressive rock and progressive music, it's actually kind of a short song. Very, very good stuff. If you like your Dream Theater, check out Sun-Caged and this release, Artemisia. Up next, Takara, Perception of Reality. You might expect this to be progressive metal too. The cover artwork kind of looks like that. I bought this one in a stack of CDs. It was one of those buy X number of CDs, get Y discount deals. And I just needed to grab one CD, so I just grabbed this one because the cover artwork was interesting. This is classic rock with AOR and hard rock and 90s hard rock leadings. It's actually pretty good, very enjoyable, catchy choruses, lots of cool guitar melodies. I do like the songs that lean more towards an 80s hard rock sound than the ones that lean towards a more 90s hard rock sound. But yeah, clean cut, melodic, catchy, feel good hard rock that you can enjoy with your grandmother. And that's sometimes a nice thing to do, I guess. Up next, Temporary Insanity, Final Walk. This is another Dive Bomb reissue. It contains 3 demos, 2 demos from 1990 and 2 demos from 1989 and 1 demo from 1990. So yeah, underground stuff. This is a crossover thrash speed metal, leaning heavily towards the hardcore punk side of things. Some of the songs are straight up hardcore punk songs, but most of them blend thrash, speed metal, and hardcore punk. The music here is brilliant. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's no nonsense, and it's a lot of fun as well, high energy. So the musical side of things, strongly recommended. The lyrics are kind of stupid, they're kind of dumb, but I think it's a deliberate choice. Now this is a Dive Bomb reissue, so it comes with a massive booklet with write-ups and interviews and things like that. And I read somewhere in the write-up that one of the goals of this band initially was to not be too serious about things and, you know, be a bit tongue-in-cheek. And I think most of their lowbrow lyrics are kind of tongue-in-cheek, to be honest. There are 2 songs from the 1990 demo, Necrotech and Selfish but Justified, that seem a bit more thoughtful. But lots of the other songs, like I said, lowbrow, kind of dumb lyrics. There's one song that comes across as a terribly misogynistic anti-abortion song. I think it's satire, I think it's tongue-in-cheek, but in today's climate, I'm pretty sure it will be cancelled before it was even conceived of. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be offended by this particular song. And I'm not going to comment on whether it's justified or not to be offended by it. I think that's a very individual matter. But Stupid lyrics aside, the music is great. If you like crossover thrash speed metal with a heavy hardcore punk influence, check this band out, and do pick up the Dive Bomb reissue, because you always get quality with Dive Bomb records. Up next, I think it's called The Great Accelerator, or maybe Great Acceleration, I can't remember, by Terminalist. It came in a digipack. I do have the digipack safely stored somewhere else. This is modern thrash metal with influences from, across the board. When it comes to extreme metal, you have a bit of grindcore influences, a bit of black metal influences, a lot of death metal influences as well. And the thing that I particularly enjoy about this is that it also has some progressive things popping up every now and then, which I really enjoy. It just creates a really nice dynamic. So if you like modern kind of extreme metal, thrash metal with extreme metal elements, do check out this release. It's absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Up next, speaking of progressive kind of music, back to the world of progressive metal, Threshold's Dead Reckoning. This is, progressive metal. Again, it's more in the Dream Theater kind of camp, without being as self-indulgent as a lot of other Dream Theater inspired bands are. So that's pretty nice to have two of those bands in the same batch. This is very melodic, but the guitar tone can be quite heavy in places, and some of the riffage can actually be quite groovy. You have some pretty cool keyboard stuff going on as well. There's a really cool cover version of Land of Confusion, but to me, to be honest, Land of Confusion by Genesis, it's a rock song, and it might as well have been a hard rock song had the guitar tone just been a tad heavier. And these guys just take it into hard rock metal territory. I know Disturbed did a cover version of that song too, which also demonstrates that it's actually really a hard rock song. But this is a great album. The vocals are very clean, so that might not be to everybody's liking if you're more into harsh vocals. But if you like your progressive metal, if you like your Dream Theater, your Fates Warning, all those classics, check out Threshold. It's actually really good. Up next, Thunder Blast, and it's called Invaders from Another World. Looks like this. So this is power metal, and it's the kind of power metal I really appreciate. So it has the energy and the up-tempo parts of kind of European power metal, but it doesn't have the cheese. Some of this actually even leans on thrash metal. I think it's War of the Monsters. That song is a straight up thrash metal song to me. And you have lots of power thrash going on here. So this is a nice mix of power metal with traditional metal and a little bit of thrash metal mixed in. Extremely good stuff. This is kind of like like Love Bites, the Japanese power metal band that infuse a lot of thrash metal and traditional metal into their music. These guys are less symphonic though, but it's in that vein, to me, kind of hopefully the future of power metal with lots of thrashy stuff going on. But this is a great, fantastic album, to be honest. If you're tired of cheese in European power metal, I think this one will be right up your alley. This is fantastic. If Euro power metal develops into this as the standard type of power metal, I think I'll be back on the power metal ship. For now, I'm enjoying like Love Bites, Thunder Blast, and a handful of other kind of power metal bands. And of course, you have the US power metal scene, which I would say that they have a lot of influences from the US power metal scene as well in this album. So that's great. Okay, up next, a bit on the side by Torben Smith. This is kind of weird. I see this described as glam metal, but I don't think this is glam metal at all. This is melodic hard rock to me. It's very good. You have even some very bluesy guitar solos every now and then. I think it's the song Spider's Web, which is kind of a blues ballad with some really tasty blues guitar solos. But for the most part, this is melodic hard rock with your feel-good choruses, your really catchy guitar riffs. Very good stuff. If you like your feel-good melodic hard rock, do check this one out. There's no glam to me at all about this. Not in the lyrics, not in the image. I mean, it doesn't look very glammy. Just wears a duster or something like that. So I don't know why people call it glam metal. It's melodic hard rock to me, but whatever. I recommend it if you like melodic hard rock for sure. Really, really good, tasty, catchy, feel good stuff with a slight melancholic edge, which I think is inherited from the bluesy influence. Very good stuff. And up last, Where Paths Divide by Toxaemia. This is either it's death thrash or it's thrash death. It's somewhere between death metal and thrash metal. It probably leans more towards death metal, to be honest. But you have lots of really cool thrashy riffage. Like Terminalist, this is great modern extreme metal. But this one has a lot of kind of like old school death metal riffage going on. You have some, like I said, some really cool thrashy riffage as well. Which I really appreciate that mix. And they make good use of blast beats as well without overdoing it. There are certainly many blast beating sections in here, but they don't overdo it. So there's a nice kind of contrast and tension between the super fast blast beaty stuff and then the mid-tempo and maybe even heavy kind of maybe autopsy, maybe obituary inspired stuff. And a lot of the faster stuff sounds a bit like it has an early Morbid Angel vibe to it. And then of course you have the thrash element as well. So in other words, this is fantastic too. If you like death thrash, but you kind of miss the all-out death metal elements in your typical death thrash, I think this is going to be very enjoyable to you. I had a great time listening to Toxaemia's Where Paths Divide. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, some progressive metal, some hard rock, even some mom and dad rock, as it were, some extreme metal as well. If any of this sounds like something that would interest you, I would say check it out. I liked all of these and I can recommend all of these, but of course it's up to you to decide whether you like it or not. Thanks for watching.